I'm glad to be here, and I know that this is what you guys are really here for, right? Email marketing. So we're going to jump right in. So a few things about me. My name is Emma Borkoff. I'm currently overseeing brand and communications at Visibo, an innovative startup. Definitely feel free to tweet at me. I've been working in Silicon Alley, so basically New York's version of Silicon Valley for over 7 years now. Love the startup scene. Pretty sweet. So not only do I enjoy writing emails, but I also enjoy eating tacos, fun fact. So a few things about Visibo. Visibo is an all-in-one event success platform, so pretty much that means that we have all of the tools you need to run a successful event. So that's, registration, website, email marketing. So actually, how many people here heard about this event through email marketing, through an email? Or are using the app, or, all right, well, that's good. So that's our platform. So you've already kind of come into touch with that. So not only that do we work with event marketers of all kinds, but we send a lot of emails ourselves. Actually, last month we sent over 60,000 emails. So I'd say at my time in Visibo, I've sent over millions of emails. So that's pretty much why I'm here today, to talk to you about that. Definitely tweet at us as well. So first, just kind of talking about why this matters, and then as well as the state of email and how you can differentiate yourselves, and just a few practical best practices. So our challenge as marketers, there was actually a study done by a company called Media Dynamics saying that we are exposed to 4,000 to 5,000 ads a day. They're looking at the different kinds of mediums there are. We're hearing them, we're seeing them. Maybe one day we'll be smelling them, but that's insane. That is a ton of ads, and you really tend to grow numb. So as marketers, we really have to cut through that noise. And not only that, once we do have someone's attention, there was actually another study done by Microsoft showing that the average adult human's attention span decreased from 12 seconds to 8 seconds. Goldfish are at 9 seconds. So we cannot concentrate any longer than a goldfish. So you cut through the noise, you have their attention, you need to be relevant, and you need to make that connection. You need to form that relationship. The state of email, that's the state, you can tell. So today, there are actually 269 billion emails sent, received a day. That's in one day. And by 2021, which is like 3 years from now, over 319 billion emails will be sent daily. Now, just looking at my inbox, I might think, okay, I have at least 1 billion in there. But these are astounding numbers. These are daily numbers, and it's just going to keep increasing. All right, so as marketers, we love to say things are dead. Facebook is dead, social media is dead, blogging's dead, the Wicked Witch is dead. So is email marketing dead? Oh, that was supposed to be through it, but that's fine. No, it's definitely alive. So this is actually a study done by Adobe showing that on average, we spend over 5 hours a week in our inboxes. So just to kind of highlight one specific stat here, 1 out of every 5 people and 1 out of every 4 millennials are checking their inbox during face-to-face conversations. So that's if I had 3 more of me, at least one of us would be on my phone checking email right now. So it's probably a good thing there's only one of me up here. So a study that we recently conducted with over 400 event marketers showed that email marketing is seen as the most impactful marketing channel for promoting an event. But this also goes outside of event marketing as well. It was shown that 89% of marketers see email marketing as their biggest lead gen channel. This is also the Adobe study. So while it's important to hear from marketers and understand what they see as their most impactful channel, it's also very good to note that consumers actually prefer brands to reach them there. Of all channels, consumers are listening the most in an email. That's where they expect you to give their message, and Remember, we're talking to goldfish. You need to be where they're willing to give you their 8 seconds of time. All right, so why are we here? We're here to get in their inboxes and their hearts. So personalization, because they're special. Timing, because they're busy. Content, because they don't want not relevant content. Sorry. One day we'll get there. All right, there we go. And design, they've seen it all. You need to be unique and you need to differentiate yourself. So personalization. It's been shown that personalized emails have a 6.2% higher open rate than those that aren't, as well as improving click-through rate by an average of 14% and improved conversions by an average of 10%. Any marketer knows that these stats are huge, especially when you're emailing to databases of tens, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. Those stats are turning into actual revenue. You should speak to them like you know them, and you should. And I know I'm speaking to a lot of people in market research, and you know how to research the consumer. You have that data. Before you send a single email out, you should understand who you're talking to, their persona, the kind of messages that they want to hear, and how to best interact with them. What are they looking for? How can you deal with the challenges that they're facing? So this is actually a great example of a very simple personalized email from a company called Zapier that helps you, integrate tools that aren't connected. And so we were using, it's freemium, so we were using the free tool, really enjoying that. And they shot us the automated email, just letting us know that we pretty much maxed out the tools. They told us exactly how many zaps or how many tasks we automated. And, they had that data. All they did was, reach out to us by name, tell us, that information that they have about us, and then they actually recommended a pricing package that was relevant to our need. And this is basically an automated sales email that worked. We did buy that package. So you can do these things, just a few simple ways to personalize an email, and that generates revenue. So many different ways to personalize and segment your emails by life cycle stage. So really understanding where they are in the funnel. Are they closer to buying? Do they know your product? Persona, who are they? Are they, a coordinator or a CEO? What kind of information do they consume? That sort of thing. Location, this is especially relevant for events, or even if you aren't a product that is localized, people love getting information that is tailored to where they are located. So you can even just throw in, the name of the city that they're in. You have all of this information already. Content consumed. This is a huge one for us at Bizzabo. We have a lot of content, and so we can tailor the content that we send because we already know the types of webinars or ebooks that people have already read, and that's also a way to kind of avoid sending the same information to them as well. Website engagement is also good. If someone's coming to your website a lot or not at all, you can tailor your message accordingly. So why are we doing this? Remember, goldfish. You have 8 seconds. You need to be relevant. You need to be timely, and especially when there's something, when they're thinking about you, when they're on their website or when they click something, you have all of these engagement metrics, so you should get in front of their faces while you can. And pro tip, make sure to map all of your content to life cycle stages. So make sure that everything you're sending is relevant and appropriate. So speaking of timing, it's everything. Triggers are really amazing, a way to really automate getting there in the right time. So these are a few different ways you can set up triggers or for specific things. A very common, popular, and effective one is sign-ups or subscribe. So as soon as someone signed up to your newsletter, subscribes to your blog. They just opted into hearing from you. Now is your chance to introduce yourself, kind of show your brand, show your personality. They are still fresh in your mind. You should definitely be sending something. We also use this app as a bow, so amount of time since they use the product or service. So if someone hasn't used the platform for a while, we might send them a little friendly email, just kind of remind them and give them a little bit more information on what they can be doing with us. Another great one are the number of email opens or times visited a website. Usually it's more either they're opening everything and coming to your website a lot or not at all. In which case you can, if they're your biggest fans, give them some love. Maybe give them a special discount. But then also the same can be done with people who are not engaging with you or not coming back to your website. Also give them a discount, give them offers, let them know, be helpful. And registration or cart abandon is especially relevant for events, e-commerce, that sort of thing. We'll have 13 tabs open. You start filling something out, you go get your credit card, you check your email, it's over. So definitely set up something that can capture those people. At that point, they've probably given you their information, so just make sure you don't lose valuable customers. So this is a great example of an email from Headspace, a meditation app. So I successfully completed 3 days, which, kind of a feat in this day and age. But yeah, so they just sent me, they knew where I was in the process of using their product, and I'm sure they'd done some research to kind of see where the drop-off rate was. Okay, people typically use it once or twice. Let's kind of keep them moving along in the cycle, in the funnel, and and keep us top of mind for them. This is another example, an email from Typeform. It's simple and pretty adorable, very friendly, but I just hadn't used Typeform in a while. So, they're like, we miss you, cute stuff. But they also are really smart about what they have in there because they also had a link to a template gallery of, things that you can do with the product. So that's smart because not only did they, realize I wasn't using it, but they thought, okay, so why isn't she using it? And so they tailored the content appropriately to make sure that I was also getting something I need and that I will come back. So that brings us right into our next category, content. This actually was said already, which is amazing because it's definitely true. Always be helping. 4,000, 5,000 ads, people can see through your pitch. People are savvy. People are smart. It's not, the age of Mad Men where, they saw one beautiful ad a day. People can see straight through selling, so you need to offer things of value. This is an example of a simple plain text email. It's really great to have design emails, but it's also important to incorporate plain text, the more, basic kind of emails. And, just offering a popular ebook we have that we just saw gets downloaded a lot. And it's just, people really appreciate that sort of thing. Emails are people too. So I live by this outside of emails as well, that you need to be transparent, you need to be authentic, you need to be genuine. And this is something I've heard all day as well. In order to connect with consumers and your audience, you need to show who you are and what you're made of, and just be real about it. And you can be all different kinds of personalities and brands can follow this, and you should be in this day and age. So this is just example of an email that I sent out a few months ago. Do we have any Game of Thrones fans? All right, okay, a few here. But yeah, so Game of Thrones was just running, and Mother of Dragons, Khaleesi. But anyways, if you get the reference, but just making it fun, making it relevant and timely, and a situation that event management platform, but it's engaging. And so we had our friend Steve who engaged back. So you show your personality, and your audience will show theirs back. Okay, so design. You can't have content without design. So quick 4 rules of thumb. So if I need 2 extra thumbs. Have an enticing email header. That's what draws people in right away. Consistent design theme. You really need to make sure that everything people receive looks like the same brand, looks like the same company. Accented colors, so having a CTA that really pops. So using complementary colors. And definitely it can be very appealing to just put a bunch of things and a bunch of content in an email, but you have to keep it sleek and not overwhelm people. Just a quick example of a template that we actually have on our platform, and it's just to show how easy it is. You just follow those 4 rules. You have the header that pops, you have the contrasting color that's popping out for the CTA, the personalization, and you don't have to be design savvy, and there are all sorts of platforms like Upwork if you do want to outsource that to a freelancer, and it's very cheap and very easy these days. All right, so just looking at some real beautiful emails here. So they're gorgeous, and they all follow the same kind of design. You have the header that pops, the bright CTAs, and offering content of value. So, you can, follow those things, and you can make something very creative and beautiful. In addition, you can fall in love with a design, but you should still always be testing it. Things get stale, things get old. You have to keep changing it up. Always test images, subject, layout, experiment with bright CTAs. And don't be afraid to be bold. It's still email marketing. Like, people get a lot of emails to their inbox. You should really just try to stand out. A big trend that we're actually seeing is converting videos into GIFs, and because you can't actually embed a video into an email. You can have an image, and this actually is very powerful. Video is very common today, and it's a easy way to just make yourself pop. So jumping into 4 best practices. So there is a clear correlation between number of characters in your subject line and open rate. The shorter it is, the higher the open rate. And it is possible to actually have subject line with less than 10 characters. I'm sure you're wondering what that even looks like. These are actually all emails that people on our marketing team have received. Obviously, you still need to be smart about it, but try these things out, test them. And of course, always be tracking. You can fall in love, but if the numbers are not showing, then clearly you have to try something else. Open rate, click-through rate, action completion is huge. Why did you send this email? Do you want them to sign up for an event, register to a webinar, that sort of thing? Are people actually doing what you want them to do? And then also unsubscribes is very, very important to just notice, why people may not be, reacting to this very well. So like I said, you can't actually embed videos into email, but you can, grab a screenshot, and it's very engaging, highly clickable, and it was actually found that the word video in the subject can increase click-through rate by 65%. So that's something you definitely should be trying out and implementing into your strategy. Mobile-friendly is huge. 2/3 of emails are read on smartphones or tablets. And not just that, but the OS, operation systems of phones are changing all the time. iPhones are still, I think, one of the top email clients over Gmail. And maybe your emails were optimized a year ago, but now they may not be working. And you need to be testing on all different clients. And there's a lot of different tools you can be doing that on. But just always be making sure that that's being appropriately done. So fun fact, Tuesday is actually the best day of the week to send email, and this is proven by 10 different email studies. And I don't know, maybe there might be a direct correlation with the fact that it's Taco Tuesday, but it's just not fact-based. So just a few quick things to avoid. So misleading subjects. Here's an example of an email that is actually very clever. April 1st, April Fool's one that, it says, thank you for your order. And it was kind of a image of a receipt in the future of all the money you saved. But everyone freaked out. They thought someone stole their card. It just was not very clever, but there's a time and a place, and you need to understand this isn't a one-to-one message you're sending to tens, hundreds of thousands, so just think through before you do everything. Well, not everything, but just think about it. Also, make use of the message preview. So that's just the kind of one line after your subject. Make it different than your subject. It's kind of your second chance to get someone to open an email. I mean, how many times have you checked your email and you read that second line, decided whether or not you want to read it? So there's a lot of opportunity to really use that. And make sure you don't have too many calls to action. People are going to click one thing, and that's pretty much what's going to happen. So you really need to decide what you want people to do, what you want them to click, and that's that. Also, another thing is you need to make your images clickable, especially on mobile. People will just try to click the biggest thing. And so if you want people to go to one place, make sure that you make pretty much everything in the email lead there. And as much as I love the beautiful designed emails, you need to be taking advantage of plain text emails. This is especially true if you have more of a kind of sales goal with these, because then they can seem a lot more personable, and they also have a better chance of not going straight to the promotions tab. So to wrap it up, we've got to personalize and segment. We need to use triggers and be aware of timing. Share valuable, unique content, and of course, use clear designs and just have fun with it. There's a lot of room for creativity here, and there's a lot of room to stand out, so don't be afraid to try something totally new. Just a few resources. So there's a website called reallygoodemails.com. It's really great for inspiration. I mean, I'll also be sharing these slides with you guys, but inspiration.mailchimp.com, also really good for just generating ideas. And that's really small, and I'm not sure if you can see that, but we actually just recently created an ebook on email marketing, specifically for event marketers, but most of the tips are very relevant to any industry or any space. Yeah, that's gone now. Yeah, so if you want the slides, you can also go to welcome.bizabo.com/hi-name and get them right now. But yeah, thank you.
Questions?
And so towards the end, you mentioned the plain text emails. I know that our MailChimp lets you, I guess, it adjusts automatically for people that are getting plain text. But are you advocating that you actually just write one that's only plain text sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes to just not have any design elements and just have it look like a personal email, just because it cuts the clutter, and it also, when you get the design, it's beautiful, but it's very corporate, it's very branded. So that way is, we've also found a lot of success with it, specifically for having our sales team build out like automated cadences. So that's a very good way to just seem a lot more like a real person. And these are all coming from actual names of people. What the reply to goes directly to them. So it's just a way to kind of automate that. But yeah, it definitely be using that as
well. Another question about plain text. I am on like the salesier side of things, and so you're sitting there and you're trying to email someone and trying to strike the balance between personalization and finding the personalization that works for a market researcher. Market researchers do tons of things, tons of different studies, and need to use software for a bunch of different things. Do you have any tips on segmentation and like not overly personalizing. Sometimes I feel like I'll personalize and it will go out to a list, and that some people just don't use the studies I mentioned, and then I feel like I've lost them. Any kind of tips for a little bit trying to be creative but not too creative on the plain text front?
Yeah. So definitely segmenting in broader groups. That is definitely, you do have to be careful because it looks really not good when, it is personalized and it's wrong. So by kind of grouping in broader categories, so that's why we usually do things that are more like location-based or company, just things that are a little more, we know this 100%. And yeah, I mean, that's just kind of how we avoid that.
Okay. Thank you so much, Emma.